Good evening and welcome to the British Gaming Podcast. It is the 8th of September 2015. We've got a fair few topics to get through tonight. With me, as always, is Richie.
Hello.
And Terry.
Good evening.
And, right, what's on the docket? So, Machinima's Xbox One promotions have been deemed unlawful, and we'll get into some more details about that. Game has majorly screwed up by charging people up to 7 times for their Super Mario Maker pre-orders. Keeping with the Nintendo theme, Pikmin 4 is apparently in development and nearly complete, which Richie will be very happy about. Speaking of releases that make Richie happy, see, I'm segueing before we've even gotten into the topics. The release date for that Binding of Isaac DLC he was looking forward to
Yes, it has.
release date for that. And also, just on the note of people screwing up, public service announcement, Konami have announced that there is a game-breaking bug for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain if you're playing as Quiet in missions, I believe it's 29 and 42. However, check out Konami's official Twitter for the exact details on that. Right. I'm gonna jump straight in. This is a hateful little docket, actually, for the most part. This company screwed up, that company screwed up. Here's a couple of release dates, which is fine. I'm used to annoying people. I actually annoyed a fair few people on the MCM Comic Con Facebook page earlier today. Essentially, a guy posted a photo of a destroyed PlayStation 4 controller and a ruined, looks like a Turtle Beach headset, just completely destroyed. And put on there, it looks like the dog had fun while I was at work today. So there's a bunch of people sympathising with him. Until I posted, it's not too bad, you can make some of your money back. CEX will still take it in that condition.
Oh, burn. Too true.
Yeah, I've had. We'll do the question of the week early. Actually, what's the worst thing you've ever had from CEX? Like the worst condition thing they've tried to hand you?
When it comes to CEX, I've been relatively lucky most of the time, but then again, I'm that dickhead at the till that always checks the game in the case and everything before I leave the store.
Mm.
So, like, the worst I've had is probably something that's been kind of a bit overly scratched, or that annoying thing where, when they put a platinum disc in a standard edition case, and you're just like, no, 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 and they're like, whoa, it's still the same game, and you're just like, no, that's not the point.
I've walked away from purchases because of that. In particular, I was trying to get like the Assassin's Creed series in one go when I switched from the Xbox 360 to the PS3, just
Yeah,
because I just wanted to have everything up to where I was, pretty much.
yeah,
And they only had the it's like best of sort of edition of Assassin's Creed 2,
yeah.
and they wanted to put that in the normal case. It's like, no. Alright, well, this is the only Assassin's Creed 2 disc we've got. It's like, great, that means you put the normal disc in one of the best of collection cases. Um, that's that's your fault. You can be lumbered with that disc. Walked away
Yeah.
from the sale of the entire series, and the guy at the till thought it was appropriate to call me a pretentious dick.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously, that was in one of the London stores. I was down in London for an MCM. I was selling at it, and yeah, so I thought, while I'm here, because I usually get there a day or two early just for setup and stuff, I was like, I'll have a wander around London, have a bit of a poke about, see what I can find, and yeah,
Yeah.
that
See,
happened.
yeah, so you can tell when a staff member acts like that. A, well, they're just a cunt, and B, they really don't give a shit about games. Someone who's into their games is gonna sort of see where you're coming from with that.
Oh yeah. Also, I'm now officially putting an 18 plus rating on this podcast for use of the C word, or I might just beep it out later. I'm not sure. That's the one that gets
I'm
people
sure it's
tetchy.
not the first time we've used that word
Oh
on this
no, probably
podcast.
not.
No,
Um,
definitely not. In response to that question, the worst thing I've had is from a cash converters. I know it's not strictly CX, but still in
mm,
that ballpark. It's a second-hand shop.
yeah.
I had Sonic Adventure Director's Cut
Ooh,
GameCube.
GameCube.
Yeah, and it was covered in mud underneath. I don't know how. I
Were
like.
they difficult with you when you tried to return it?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I managed to get it for about £3, and it was going for about 12 quid at the time. I
Mm.
washed it off, and everything else was relatively okay, so I just stuck with it.
Oh,
Kind of does
that's
the same
typical
thing.
Norfolk. Like Norfolk, you pull a carrot out of the ground, scrape some mud off, eat it, it's alright. That doesn't extend to our video games, Terry.
Yeah. Well, weirdly enough, it wasn't scratched or anything. It was just kind of muddy. I don't know what the hell that was about.
How did that happen? My brother ruined a few games because Richie will remember there was a park literally opposite the house which we referred to as the Sandy Park.
Yeah, God knows
Um,
why. Probably because there was a lot of sand.
yeah, and a lot of needles in the sand, unfortunately.
Oh,
Anyway, we got we'd get home and Jake would like traipse his shoes through the house. So there'd be sand like all over our bedroom and stuff, and then he'd drop
Oh.
game discs onto the sandy floor.
oh.
Ah.
Yeah, you can imagine how that ended. Which is why I don't have. Well, I've still got like 60 to 70 PlayStation 1 games, but nowhere near as many as I would otherwise have. Unfortunately, that's why my copy of Mega Man Legends 2 is no longer with me, and that game's expensive now.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus.
but no, CEX, specifically the St. Stephen's Street store in Norwich. I was
Oh.
working at Aviva's head office at the time, so I was literally around the corner from it. I bought a copy of Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing on the PS3. I returned it within 10 minutes because the underneath of the game disc looked like it'd been in the bottom of a dog's food bowl. It had like this residue on it which looks like, you know, the jelly that holds like pork pies and cat food together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
like that smeared across it and like a little bit of mold in one corner. It was kind of gross. And they just went, "Did we sell this to you?" "Yes, you're the guy who served me. It was 10 minutes ago. Here's the receipt." "Oh, well, do you want me to put it through the disc cleaning machine?" "I want you to set fire to it. I want to know who the bloody hell took this in." Ah, well, I can get you another disc if you want. That might be a good idea, yeah. Um,
Yeah, their standards aren't very high in there, are they? I don't
no.
shop in there a lot, and that's probably the reason why.
Your standards are low, but I still give you a lot of my business. Oh dear. I think that's the problem, isn't it? We just buy from them anyway because there's not a lot of other options. Um, well, actually,
It's a good place to pick up kind of games you've never really heard of because they're so cheap. You fancy something a little bit different. Pick a game you never heard of. It's like £4. Why not?
that's all right for me to say that. Round here, there are very few alternatives. You two living in Norwich, you've got regenerating gaming. You have no excuse for using CEX on that basis alone.
Oh, I hardly go to CEX anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Right. Let's get to the docket. So, if you purchased an Xbox One because of videos that you saw on Machinima's channel where they were praising the Xbox One, it might pay you to know that some of those YouTubers were paid up to 30,000 US dollars to speak positively about the machine. And none of them revealed that it was a paid endorsement. So this was a bit of a scandal nearer the time, but the reason it's come back into relevancy now is that a court has actually ruled that the advertisement and the way they went about it was deceptive and unlawful. And Machinima's, of course, made the typical statement of, "We promise not to do it again." Um, what are your thoughts on this, guys?
So, Microsoft bribing reviewers.
Hmm. This reminds me of the. Did you hear about what happened with Shadows of Mordor?
No, I didn't. What happened?
Right, they said they put a bunch of conditions on people getting review copies. One of the conditions being, outside of the usual embargo and that, is that before they uploaded their videos to YouTube or their website or wherever, they had to send the video for what they called quality assurance to make sure that the video was up to standard. And then if the publishers wanted any changes made to the video creator had to make those changes. Additionally, they also mandated a minimum amount of time that they had to spend speaking positively about the Nemesis system in the game.
Wow.
Those were their conditions, and it was like, you're not getting a review copy unless you agree to this.
Okay, I actually regret buying that game now, just based purely on that. In fact, I regret buying any Warner Brothers game now, based purely on that. Like, I don't want to
Warner
support
Brothers,
them
thank you. I wondered why there was no trouble when it ripped off pretty much the entire Arkham combat system.
anymore.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it stinks of that again. I think we've always been very clear. We've said, that although we do name drop Cyan Regenerating Gaming a bit, he doesn't officially sponsor us. We don't receive any video games or payments or anything from him. He's just genuinely a good guy with a good store. Likewise, I've been in the position twice now, once with Kobold's Quest and once with Dungeons I've Draconis, where I have done a video on my solo channel about a game that was made by people I personally know, and in both cases, right at the start of the video, I just get that out of the way and go, look, I do know these guys. I've tried not to let the friendship get in the way of the review. I've tried to remain objective, though I appreciate that may not have been entirely possible. And I did pay for these games. These aren't free copies or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, and I think
That's
that's the way to go, honestly.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. You just got to be transparent with any potential bias that may exist. It's just like, okay, there's this and this, so there may
Hmm.
be a bias here. I'm going to try to subside that, but at the same time, it might still be there. Just
Oh,
be
yeah.
aware.
And I think that's all you can do. I mean, now it's not just going to be best practice. We would really like people to do this. Now it is pretty much law.
Yeah,
You-
well,
Oh yeah,
we shouldn't have a
yeah.
problem with it going forward now. After that, should we? People aren't going to want to get in trouble
yeah.
over it.
But then let's see like what they do to try and sidestep that. I mean, companies, whenever there's a
Mm.
new law put in, they'll try and find some other way to be sleazy.
Yeah, like, hey, we'll send you a free Xbox One if you put up some videos about it. Now, technically, the Xbox One wouldn't be a form of payment. The Xbox One would be deemed as being a necessary review machine, because you can't review it if you don't have one.
Yeah.
Um, Ergo, they can sort of get around that, so they can still say, like, have free games, have, this, that, and the other. Um, it just brings us back to obviously the classic Kane and Lynch scenario where there was a website covered in Kane and Lynch adverts. A reviewer for the website posted a bad review of Kane and Lynch and was then promptly fired.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, on top of that as well, a lot of the time when this kind of shit breaks out, it tends to be the reviewer that gets the brunt of all of the kind of rage of the internet. But you
Hmm.
need to think it's the industry that's making this a problem, and the reviewer is just some guy that's just trying to keep their bloody job half the time.
I
You know?
disagree. I disagree. If when you're accepting something like that, you
Hmm.
know instinctively this is a bit dodgy. You can't claim ignorance. Richie, what's your take on it?
Well, I think you pretty much covered it all, really. I mean, the, the most
So
difficult. Sorry.
let's say you were a popular reviewer on the internet, right? And
Hmm.
Microsoft turned around and went, "We'll give you 30 grand and a free Xbox One potentially. I don't know if the Xbox Ones were free to talk positively about the Xbox One on your channel, but don't tell anyone it's a paid endorsement." Uh, would you not? Would there not be a trigger in the back of your brain that goes, "This sounds horribly deceptive and immoral"?
Oh, I mean with this, I see what you mean when with that. I'm just kind of going off on a bit of a tangent here about reviews in general and sort of being like kind of giving dishonest reviews essentially. Like there was that whole thing where I think it was IGN. Some of the reviewers essentially gave a negative review about a game that was sponsoring the hell out of their website,
That's the
and
Kane
they
and Lynch example that I mentioned a moment ago.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So it's just like if people are scared of losing their jobs over this kind of thing, it's
The problem is, as moral as everyone likes to think they are, everyone has a price.
exactly.
Everyone has a buying out price. Let's face it.
All
If
right.
Microsoft had come to you, Sam, and offered you £100,000 to do it, you probably would, because
Oh yeah.
that is a shitload of money.
I would have put a disclaimer at the start of the video, the same as I did for Kobold's Quests and Dungeons, to
I know, but
say,
what if that's one of the stipulations, though, is that you can't do that and you don't get the money if you do?
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to do it. It's a life-changing amount of money.
Exactly.
Screw morals at the end of the day. It's just a video game.
okay, so
Yeah.
Richie, Terry a moment ago was saying, and I'm near enough going to quote you, that it's not the companies who get the flack. Usually, it's the reviewer or the YouTube personality themselves that gets the brunt of it. In a tone that suggests that he felt that wasn't entirely fair on the YouTube personality. I disagree with that. I think that the YouTube personality, to right, should get the brunt of it for accepting that deal and purposefully deceiving their viewers. What's your take on specifically that?
Uh,
Okay.
it's an interesting one, that is, isn't it? Because do they realise they're breaking the law when they're doing it, or do they just think they're getting themselves a good deal and really the flack that comes with it? Who cares? I'll cry into my money.
There's no way that you could see that kind of deal on the table and not think, this is a little dodgy.
I have to. No, I agree with you that it's probably a little dodgy. I wouldn't have gone as far as to think it was illegal, though. I would have never guessed that.
Alright, but even on a standpoint of, you're a content creator, you have an audience, you have a relationship with that audience, yeah? Would you not feel like you were kind of screwing that audience over by not revealing the nature of your positive messages and their origins?
Maybe so, but I suppose it depends if you feel like you're going the right way about it. Like you're
Mm.
giving the positive reviews, but you're not going. It's not sitting there wearing a Microsoft T-shirt and a Microsoft hat.
Yeah. If we ever get
Sort of
big,
thing.
by the way, and we do get like any paid endorsements or sponsorships or anything like that, if we ever slip up just once, this entire conversation is just going to be played back to us.
Me especially. No, I'm alright. I'm going on record saying that I've got a price. I'll do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, if we got big, we're the ones in charge, so we can make those decisions. I'm talking about people like, again, the Kane and Lynch example, people that
Mm.
work for the bigger companies. They're in a job, they're being told by their boss, or you do this, they're going to do it. I mean, like, for example, if you work in a call center and you're having to reiterate some really shitty policy to a customer who's yelling down your ear, you're going to do it because that's your job and that's what you're being paid to do.
See, back in my call center days, there was a thing that connected my headset to the actual physical phone, and the actual clip on it wasn't great. So what I could do is I could just slyly have my thumb on top of that and keep clicking it in and out. And then a bad customer would just assume that it was a bad connection and eventually just give up and hang up, which was great.
Sure, I got deja vu for that story.
Yeah, probably. We have been going for a fair few weeks now. I mean, we've been going for, I think, just over 3 months now.
I think we're on week 15.
Yeah, probably. So coming up to 4 months, and
Good lord.
I was actually. This is the scary thing. I was doing some maths with Joe in the car because she was like, "Right, what sort of ad revenue do you get for X amount of views?" And then she was like, "Right, okay, so how many views do you get per video?" And I told her that, and she went, "Right, okay, and how
Sure.
much does
Give
the
up the podcast.
pretty much. She said, "What are the website hosting costs for BritishGamingBlog.co.uk?" So I told her that. And essentially, it worked out that we would have to do 50 podcasts without a break to cover the cost of the website hosting. And the police right there are on their way because that's extortion. That's a crime right there.
Probably me admitting I'll take bribes. They're coming to get
Yeah,
me.
they heard you. They're after you. So no, we essentially would have to do 50 podcasts straight, which I then realised we do one a week. There's 52 weeks in a year. So basically, for every year of the podcast we do, and with the web hosting bill being annual, we're essentially covering the costs of the website hosting, and that's it. And that's not even taking into account like deductions for the amount of people who use AdBlock and stuff.
Well, there's a nice positive message.
Yeah. Speaking of money,
So what you're saying is everything we're doing is pointless.
I have fun. That's the main thing. But on the topic of money, there are a fair few people who have noticed that their bank accounts are suddenly overdrawn when they shouldn't be. And this is because Game have charged people multiple times for their pre-orders of Super Mario Maker. The worst case example reported so far appeared on Eurogamer.net. Someone was claiming that they had been charged 7 times for their one pre-order of the game, which came to a total of £328.93.
Is
Some people
this is
have
just for the game, is it? It's not anything. It's not a
This
bundle.
is the game and the packaged in Mario amiibo.
Oh, the amiibo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, yeah. Places are running out of pre-orders of that one like mad as well. So
Should have got it from game. You can get 7.
Game have said that they'll refund people within 24 hours. However, that's not always technically possible. So I've had some background in the banking industry. What's happened at the moment is that the money hasn't technically left people's accounts. As you know, you've got something called an account balance and an available balance. So right now, the money has been taken off the available balance, but not the account balance. So what that means is that basically the money has been put aside for game. Now, common misconception is that your bank or building society are holding on to that money. That's simply not true. Um, they basically sit it on the Visa network, and then it sits there for Game to collect. Now, if a company makes a mistake, what usually happens is they only collect the amount they're actually supposed to take and they leave the rest there. Now, they know that the Visa network, if the company doesn't collect the money for 7 calendar days, the Visa network will automatically return the money to the bank and it goes back onto your available balance. Everyone with me so far?
So basically, what they're saying is the whole 24-hour thing, they can't guarantee that because it'll take 7 working days.
Here's why. There is an exceptions process, and what it involves for most banks and building societies is Game sending a fax either directly to Visa or to the Visa. A fax, yes, that old fashioned. A fax to
Wow.
either Visa themselves or the Visa Disputes Department of your bank or building society. Once that's been received, that's a formal notification to Visa to put the funds back in. Now, that whole process can take up to 48 hours. So still no guarantee, and we're talking working hours. So if it's a weekend, tough luck. It's working days only. Which means that actually there's no way they can guarantee the 24 hours they're guaranteeing. Even if they, batch these and ring through to the banks and let them know what's going on. It's very much like when you put. The best way I can describe it is putting a letter in a post box. Once the letter has gone in that post box, either the postman delivers it to where it's meant to go, or if you put a return address on it, it turns up back with you about a week later with not known at this address, return to sender, or whatever on it. That's the
Or the
best way I can describe it.
or the postman nicks it or dumps it in the woods.
Or that, although Visa aren't likely to nick it. Let's be honest.
True.
So, that's the situation you're in. If, depending on your bank or building society, I mean, it's obvious what's happened. Game have admitted to what's happened. So your best bet is to call your bank or building society. If you paid on a debit card, ask to do a Visa dispute. What a Visa dispute does is essentially your bank or building society will reimburse you from their own pocket, and then when they sort things out with Game and get the money back from Game, they just keep the money from Game, and then everyone's back to what they should have. Does that
Oh,
make
you had
sense?
that with that e-buyer thing.
Yeah, I had that with eBay. That's exactly what I did with them. Yeah. Uh,
Ah,
Meanwhile, if you paid by credit card, you're automatically covered by your credit card company. One call, and the credit card company will have that money back in your account very, very quickly. Um, some people have cancelled their pre-orders because they noticed that actually it'd come out 4 times already because they get an email notification every time the goddamn money's taken.
oh, Jesus.
From Game is the best part. Hi, we're processing your pre-order, and we'd just like you to know that we've charged your account. Um,
Bloody hell.
so some people noticed there were 4 of these, and to stop any more, because obviously people have got to buy petrol and food and stuff, they actually cancelled the pre-order. Now, at that point, Game have been extremely dickish and said, well, there goes your amiibo.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
not
I've
really,
paid for
not
this
really
thing
on, is it?
4 times, and they're like, yeah, but you cancelled the pre-order now, so even though we've been paid for the game 4 times over, you ain't getting your copy.
They'll go back on that. There's no way they'll stick with that.
Oh, there'll be too much pressure. They'll have to.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when you think how many of those amiibos, by which I mean how few there will be released, because
Mm.
let's face it, Nintendo have been terrible in regards to the quantity of amiibos that are released. Like,
They are
it's just based.
restocking some of the rarer ones. They're reissuing some. So there are like some villagers and some other ones. I don't really follow Amiibo, but there are more coming.
I mean, it's just ridiculous how scarce a lot of them have been. I mean, like store exclusive ones, for instance, and
Oh,
just
I
in
haven't
general.
seen any store exclusive ones. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's
Hmm.
been the case over here. I've seen a few articles and videos discussing that kind of thing. I think it's mainly a problem in the States, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
yeah,
I need to send you guys a picture of all the amiibos my sister has. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah,
yeah.
no doubt.
I've got three, and I feel like I have too many.
She's got like 15. It's crazy.
Then I'll send you a photo of all the Dragon Ball Z Super Battle Collection figures from like 1993 I've got, and you'll tell me how much money I've wasted. And then I'll
Oh,
give you
that's
the actual figure, and
oh
you'll go
man, that's
berserk.
so old. They don't have RFID chips.
Yeah, get with
That's
the
so
times, Sam.
They're so old, they've only got 2 points of articulation, and that's each shoulder. Literally, their arms can go up and down. That's it. That's all the articulation you get.
What's the point?
The sculpts are quite nice, and
If you
I like
can't
them.
get costumes in Smash Brothers, what's the point?
Or playable characters in Mario Maker, which it genuinely looks interesting. I'd like
That
to play it. I
that
don't
does
have
look
a
like
Wii
fun.
U.
I don't know if my sister's planning on getting it, but if she does, I'll definitely give it a go.
I
Yeah, I
just
want
want
to
to
get a
play some of the
bundle as
hellish
well.
levels.
Oh yeah, definitely. Given all the really hard ones to go, will be fantastic.
You see, I don't know what I get more fun out of, watching YouTube streams and stuff of reviewers who already have the game going through it, or whether I'd prefer to play myself. I don't know, because I've been playing a lot of Spelunky again lately. I got to right before Olmec's Lair and died. I was so angry. But
Mm.
it was... but I've also been watching a lot of Spelunky, and I'm torn between whether I'm preferring playing Spelunky or watching Spelunky at the moment. And I imagine
I do
Mario
that.
Maker...
I do that with Isaac. I can never
Yeah.
decide if I enjoy playing it or watching it more.
I think Mario Maker's going to be one of those games.
Yeah,
And on
I
that
think
note, actually, anyone watching, if you've got a game that's like that for you, please let us know, because I'm really enjoying those kinds of games. Rogue Legacy is another one for me, actually.
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, if that's appealing to you, I'm surprised you haven't been playing Little Big Planet.
Yeah, Little Big Planet does not have the best controls for a platformer. It's
I
a bit
guess.
stiff and wonky and floaty, and it just doesn't... Little Big Planet, the customization and world building options are great, but the actual core mechanics are crap. It
Mm.
doesn't feel good to play.
Wonder if they've worked that out in number three, like if they've improved on it at all. I mean, I've
I
only played the
doubt
first
it.
one.
Most shops here are trying to get rid of any brand new remaining copies they have by reducing it to $14.99.
Damn.
Yeah. Apparently number 3 is short too, like shorter than 2.
Yeah, but then again, that's because of the whole creation aspect. I'd imagine they're probably coasting off of that.
Yeah, like people will be creating and uploading levels anyway, so we don't need to make an effort. Yeah,
But
you do.
I really want Mario Maker, but I don't want to pay full price for it. But I know it's not going to go down in price at all. Plus, I really wanted that amiibo, but I don't want to spend the. I really
Well,
don't want to spend the amount it would cost.
I don't want that amiibo, but I do want. They've done the exact same sculpt, but with the modern colors. So instead of the brown, it's like blue. Um,
See, I like the old style one.
each to their own. But
Yeah.
I'm in that position with Metal Gear Solid 5. I really, really want it. We don't really have the money for it right now because we just spent so much on going to Melksham Comic Con, getting the third issue of Joe Cape printed, and of course
Mhm.
we've got October MCM coming up, so it's just the cash isn't there. But
Yes.
also with how Konami have been lately, I just don't want to buy it new or pay full price for it.
Yeah, see, I mean, like I said last week, that's the problem I've got is basically I either have to buy it used on last gen, buy a new console, or just buy it new for PC where they've
Mm.
properly just fucked it up with the physical release of that 8 meg installer. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's pretty much become a big raging no. However,
Which is
one
a shame because when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, like that was the last time I think I was that excited for a new release. Like me and my friend Adam, we spent 24 hours straight playing through that start to finish. Like it was mental. The game actually even had a loading screen where it asked us after 20 hours if we actually have a life. Like we were just so into it. And like with this one, I'm just like meh.
me and my housemate at uni, also called Adam, different Adam, Adam Preston, did the same thing, and we saw the loading screen where it was, it literally was just 3 words that said "go to sleep."
Brilliant.
Although we spent a lot of time prattling around as well, so I think we clocked up about 30 or so hours in the end. It's pretty bad.
Oh man. I
But
clocked about 24, but I imagine 20 of those are probably cutscenes.
Richie, you mentioned obviously Binding of Isaac, watching it, playing it. You can't decide which is better. Obviously, there's going to be new content soon for you to play and also for you to watch other people unlocking. What will you look forward to more? Seeing other people discovering new items and new weapons, or discovering them for yourself?
Probably playing it for myself. I'm not planning to watch
Mm,
anything before I play it. It comes out
right.
on the 30th of October, which is too far away, but it's still quite close, I suppose.
Yeah.
So,
It's literally the week after MCM.
fair
So
enough. Yeah,
yeah,
you
MCM
won't
is
be
the
playing it then.
23rd to the 25th of October, and then
Ah,
yeah,
Can
so that'll
anyone
come
guess
out.
that Sam's excited for MCM?
plug.
No, it is the last show I'm doing of the year, and it's also one of the biggest shows I'm doing of that year. So of that year, of this year, it MCM is literally a case of if I don't make a set amount at MCM, I can't afford to attend any of the conventions that I've already booked for next year. So MCM's kind of a bit. I'm a bit nervous about MCM. It's kind of a big frickin' deal this year.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like I'm booked in to go to Western Supersonic in January, True Believers in Cheltenham in February. I've got March, I believe, is Birmingham Eggbaston. I can't remember what's in April, but I've got something in April, and then May will be the next MCM. Um, and literally to do those, pretty much a convention a month selling, I need to hit a certain target at October MCM. And also like through online sales through my Etsy store and people buying commissions online and that kind of thing. So I apologize if I do get a bit pluggy, but I'm just sort of in that position now of
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the you got your new release of Joe Cake 3, so I mean that's going to help things along. And yes, I just plugged for Sam for him to save him the
oh
trouble of
yeah,
that one.
yeah. Well, I mentioned printing the new comics. I kind of covered it, but
Yeah.
no. So Richie, Binding of Isaac DLC. What's the price on that?
So well, the price for um after the pre-order, they're doing pre-orders for DLC, which you don't see very often.
Oh
And
God.
I know.
But actually, I want to talk about the Deus Ex pre-order bullshit after this. So yeah, uh, I'll park it for the moment, but I do want to talk about that. You've just reminded me. Thank you.
All right, cool.
So they're doing pre-orders for DLC, which is great.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
9.99 afterwards, but they said the pre-ordering is going to be a considerable chunk off. Now, when Rebirth came out originally, it was
Mm.
about if you pre-ordered it and you owned the original Isaac, it was about half price. So
Okay.
it'll probably be reasonable, probably be about £5 to buy if you
So if this
pre-order
is
it.
coming out on the 30th and the pre-orders are going to be a reduced price, when do the pre-orders open?
We don't know yet. They've said they were hoping to release at the same time they released the date, but apparently they're having some problems with Steam. So
so
it's
Also, again, we've not
getting
had
up.
any sponsorships or anything from the guys behind Binding of Isaac, or rather, Guy singular, I should say. At least I think that's accurate. Rich will correct me if I'm wrong.
The original game was created by it was created by one guy and then programmed by another guy, but this one's been done by a couple of different people.
All right,
so
because it's
this
a Super
DLC.
Meat Boy team, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Well,
right.
one of the guys, isn't it?
Similar team. Not exactly the same, but
All
similar
right.
team.
Sorry,
But
Terry.
I was just gonna say, this DLC is it for the original version of Binding of Isaac or for Rebirth? Like, I keep getting
Rebirth.
confused. Yeah, I
Yeah,
keep getting
it's just for
confused about it.
Rebirth.
Rebirth is a remake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah,
I should
Rebirth.
cover it on Remade Repackaged Reboot at some point. Yeah.
That's yes, not a bad idea actually. That would probably be a very interesting video, especially for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rebirth was basically the original Binding of Isaac was a Flash game. And I think it was possibly on Newgrounds and years and years ago. And Rebirth
Mm.
was basically the Edmund, who's the creator of the game, making the game he wanted to make originally, but couldn't because of the limitations with Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the game is just sort of massively scaled up. It's got loads more items. It doesn't drop. It doesn't
It's not
lag like
that
hell.
different to Meat Boy. Meat Boy was originally a Flash game, if memory serves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly right.
And that's why they called it Super Meat Boy, if I'm thinking right here, because the original was just called Meat Boy, and then when they could do all these snazzy things on what was
Uh,
current gen consoles at the time, they're like, sod it, Super Meat Boy, which is obviously being a play on all the Super Nintendo games being called Super.
oh,
Which when
speaking of
you,
which, oh, carry on.
I was just gonna say, which when you're looking for a ROM of Super Street Fighter 2 for a video to capture footage from, and you get to that section, it's like, Super! Oh god, there's 5 pages of just games titled Super for this console. Go ahead, Terry, sorry.
Super Meat Boy 2 confirmed.
Yeah, more or less. They said they were doing Super Meat Boy Forever, and with that, they were having enough ideas for Super Meat Boy 2 that they were just like, oh, sod it, we'll do it.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Super Meat Boy is still like one of my top games of last gen. It's just it's so fluid. It
Super
feels so
Meat Boy
good.
is one of those games that I play for about half an hour every so often and realize I'm really shit at it and then stop.
No,
But
it's
I get like the bug for it every so often and I really do like it. It's a really good game, but I've never finished it.
it's fantastic. It's absolutely superb. But No, anyone wondering why I'm asking very sort of marketing interviewy kind of questions to Richie about this DLC? There's two reasons. One, I know nothing about this DLC. I just saw it reported on several gaming news sites and thought Richie will want to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Um, and for two, I figure those are the important things that you guys are going to want to know if you're interested in it, and Richie wasn't bringing them up himself, so I sort of had to help him.
I need a little bit of a push sometimes. No, I
Yeah.
mean the plan is at the moment the game Rebirth is huge as it is, but this
Mm.
DLC is adding a whole extra game mode.
Yeah.
The way Rebirth works at the moment is there's kind of different paths you can take within the game. So you
Yeah.
get to a certain point, and you have to choose one of two paths. This is going to add
Okay.
a couple of new paths. There's
All
going to
right.
be
So the branches are going to get a bit more complicated.
yeah, the tree's going to get
Yeah.
a little more branchy.
Speedrunners are going to be like, which route?
Yeah, exactly, and there's a whole, like I
Yeah.
said, there's a whole new game type, loads of new enemies, new bosses, 120 new items, which is absolutely crazy for like a
Jesus.
DLC that's going to be like a fiver to pre-order.
Yeah,
There's
that's an
a
insane
new
amount of work.
character. They're adding daily runs as well. So there's going to be a
Oh,
particular
there's a
scene.
daily challenge mode in Spelunky as well.
Yeah, and
There's
that's
yeah,
being added to this,
nice.
which is going to be very interesting, and it's going to obviously change the whole speedrunning
I
aspect of it.
I wonder if they'll do the same thing because the daily challenge, like usually it's randomly generated maps, but the daily challenge in Spelunky, everyone plays the same map.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
that's what this is. Yeah,
you
that's
only
what
get
this is.
one shot at it.
Again, same here. Yeah.
Yeah, and where your friends died, you'll see a little ghost and a message which explains how they died.
I don't think that sort of thing will be in this because
Ah,
it's
that
got
needs
like
to.
a scoreboard and everything like that, but nothing like
Yeah.
that, unfortunately, because this does not have a friend system. I don't think.
Like you run past a friend's ghost and you just feel like flipping them off as you go past, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing like that. But I mean, enough's
Ah,
going into it that I'm sure I can let that go.
okay, fair enough. Um,
I'm
right, well,
I'm super hyped either way.
are you hyped for Pikmin 4? I mean, that came out of nowhere, just an announcement that, yes, there's a Pikmin 4 and it's nearly finished.
Yeah, Nintendo doing what they do best and just throwing curveballs at you.
They're like, oh, by the way, game.
We know you're all
Yeah.
busy trying to
Well, it's like
dissect our new console, so let me distract you with this.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
FNAF's releases. It's like, yeah, we just got another one. There you go.
I
It's-
know people keep saying, "Oh yeah, the Wii U's dead. It's running out of like new releases and things like that." But we got that and Star Fox Zero coming out and Zelda at some point. It's just like I'm bloody happy I got mine.
There's a Zelda coming to 3DS, Triforce Heroes, which I
Oh,
don't
is
actually
there?
know much about.
I didn't know that. That's quite interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a weird three-player co-op one where apparently you have to have three players. So you need to find
Oh,
two other people to play it with consistently who both own like the game and a 3DS. So
Sort of like the
that's
same
not.
problem that Force Swords had on the GBA.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
You
So
think at this point they'd just be like, not got any friends? That's okay, play with the AI, you know.
yeah, exactly. Or at the very least, like have a download play option or something like
I
that.
guess online multiplayer and matchmaking might solve that to a degree.
Maybe, but then like I don't know about
Not
you, but I don't like playing cart games with randomers.
No, nor do I. That's why I haven't done the
Mm.
heists on GTA 5 yet, because I just hate playing with people I don't know. It's just awful.
Well, as soon as I have GTA 5 for PC, which honestly, looking at our financial commitments at the moment, is going to be a while unless someone gifts it to me. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. Once I've
Dude,
got
I
it, I
keep
will
looking
quite
out.
happily heist.
Dude, I keep looking out to see if it's on a ridiculous sale to see if I can. I just can't justify gifting a £26
it
game, and
the
that's like the
problem
most I've
is
bid for.
Grand Theft Auto is it's like a first party Nintendo title. That price ain't gonna come down.
No, not likely. Not anytime soon, anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the PS3 and 360 versions are like a tenner now.
yeah, because those are the versions no one wants anymore. But back on the subject of first party Nintendo games and the prices not coming down, I believe we were originally talking about Pikmin 4. He
Yeah,
did it again.
I've only played a little bit of Pikmin 3, but it'd be interesting to see what they come out of Pikmin 4.
Are there any new? Because I've not really played many Pikmins. Outside of adding new multicolored Pikmin with new abilities, is there much else they can do to evolve this franchise in your view? Or
I don't really know, because I mean, the big selling point of Pikmin 3 was that you played
Hmm.
as three different characters, didn't you? You can play it, or two different characters, play them at the same time, and you switch between
oh,
them.
so it's like a co-op mode, or is it more a you've got
It's
separate people in
Yeah,
separate
you've got separate
places?
people. You can fit
Right.
between them.
Oh,
Think of
okay.
basically.
GTA 5 and the different characters on that. Is that
Yeah,
what you mean?
basically yes,
Or
absolutely
sort of
right.
like Super Time Force Ultra, which I've been playing thanks to PS Plus.
Yeah, if you say so. Um, no, it's that sort of system. And obviously, they put in it allows them to add extra puzzles where you have to have two people working synonymously. So one goes and does one thing to knock one thing over, and then the other one can
Hmm.
cross the bridge, etc., etc. So no, I don't really know how they can expand on that, but I'm sure they'll probably think of something. They normally do.
Four
Okay,
players.
Yeah, yeah. A different coloured Pikmin.
fair enough. Well, I think we've pretty much exhausted that one then. That is actually the full topic list, so let's move on to the fan questions of the week. Now, when I was typing the topic list, I did so from my phone, which auto-corrected to fab questions of the week.
Which
So,
I thought was fantastic. I enjoyed that.
oh yeah,
But you know that. I commented on it.
and they genuinely are fabulous questions
They're
that we
always
get.
fabulous questions.
Yes. I believe is now there are 5 questions, and it's from a regular, so it's going to be either Lupacillo or Kashoro Guy. But I don't have the questions open in front of me,
I'm
which
just getting them.
I've got them already if you want.
you've got them
Go
right.
for it.
Which of the two is it?
It's Kashoro guy.
It's Kashoro Guy, right? Because when you know there are questions and you know there's 5, you immediately know, right? It's one of the two. As you've got the questions open, Richie, would you kindly do the honors?
I would. Can I just say first? When I first read this first question, I totally misread it. I'll read the question and then I'll tell you how I misread it. So,
Okay.
question
Okay.
one: who are some of your favorite musicians who exclusively do video game remixes? I, however, at first glance, misread the word musicians as Mexicans. I was like, that's a very specific question.
Some of your favorite Mexicans would just be difficult on its own.
Yeah, who exclusively do video game remixes? I was like, this is gonna be a tough one to answer. But no, musicians, not Mexicans.
Video
Okay.
game remixers. So really, we're talking contributors to ocremix.org here, aren't we?
I've actually
Yeah.
been listening to a lot of stuff from OC Remix. I've been putting it in GTA 5 because that way I can not worry about getting my videos copyrighted.
Well,
Yeah, I heard that
Snappleman,
your latest
his name
video.
comes. Like, I listen to a few that I like, and I know Snappleman is always on there
Oh
somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
yeah,
does
yeah.
some great Sonic ones. There's one called Oliver Sorois or Siri, Sirois. I don't know how it's pronounced properly. He's
Hang
done
on,
some
I
bloody
I
brilliant Sonic 2
downloaded
ones.
I downloaded an entire album, the Blood on the Asphalt album, because I did the remade repackaged rebooted on Street Fighter 2. I grabbed the OC Remix album, which was used in the HD remix. And there's actually some tracks in here that I really love, and it's got the artists next to them. So no doubt they're probably the same people who do the other ones. So I've got Tramphion, who did Guile's stage, so Guile's Mile Long Dong. Great. I did not know that was the title of that until I looked at it.
You
uh,
sure that's not your personal collection?
we've got the opening theme, Rock the Asphalt, which was done by Jive Master. And where's Ken's theme? Ken's theme is in here somewhere. Let's see. I'm just in the folder now. There we go. Ken's stage. So sounds made in the USA by Sixto Sounds. So yeah, those guys. That's my answer.
Yeah. I also want to add someone that you introduced me to, Sam, a few years back, the Black Mages.
Oh, Charlie Paradel Rigo. Before I forget him. And also Nostalgica. I used his World Cup music in my Kingdom Hearts video game comics episode for a Salieri's contest a little while back.
Hmm.
Oh, and
Oh,
Mega Driver.
yes. His
How have us three
guitar
not
is made out
mentioned
of a Mega Drive.
Mega Driver? Of course. Um, sorry,
Oh,
Richie, we haven't
Power
given you
Glove.
a goddamn chance here, have we?
I think my only answer to that would be Smooth McGroove, the guy who does the
Oh,
a cappella.
acapella guy. Yeah,
He's fantastic. He is.
he's
I
got a
love him.
cat.
He has got a cat. Yes, he makes frequent appearances. Well observed, Sam.
He's the guy who will never have to buy curtains in his entire life. He can
Uh,
just draw his hair over his face at
Good
night and be
joke.
like, I'm
Good
done.
joke.
yeah, no. What was I gonna say? But yeah, definitely Power Glove. I want to mention who's done. They've done a lot of Sonic remixes, and they also did the whole Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon soundtrack. Following on from that.
You'll need to introduce me to them then, because I've have not heard of them prior to you mentioning them just there. Quick shout out as well
Well,
to Brental Floss and the amazing Duane and Brando.
yes. And Sam,
Yes.
you've been introduced to them from playing Blood Dragon.
Okay, I need to be introduced to their Sonic remixes then. Let's get a
Yes, you
little more
definitely
specific.
do. I think one of their remixes is called "Too Sexy for My Robotnik" or something, which is a silly title, but then so's that Guile one. So
Kyle's mile long dog. Literally, I did not realize what that said until I was already reading it.
you saw that's not like from a porn app on your phone or something.
Oh, there has been issues around a porn app lately, hasn't there? With ransomware. For those of you who haven't heard, there was what was it?
Oh,
I don't know
that
what
was
the app
so
was
hard.
called now. It was like it was is something stupid like Porn Viewer or Adult Viewer or something like that. Claimed to
Yeah,
be a porn
you
app.
don't know, do you, Sam?
I've just read there was a news article on the BBC Tech site, and we get the RSS feed for that at work, so I had a read.
I like how
Um,
this week Sam's the authority on porn stuff, not me.
for once. So basically, what this thing did, it was supposed to be like a porn gateway, similar to like how you get those uh, apps that let you watch illegal streams of anime and that kind of thing, sort of like that, but for porn. Only it was using the front-facing camera to take photos of its users. It was then locking the device with those photos and being like, "Pay us $500 or we'll release these."
Oh god, that just reminds me of this forum post I saw where basically some guy had been playing Dance Central and he'd been playing it naked, and the forum post had basically said, "Help, help! I was playing Dance Central naked. It took a picture of me and uploaded it. How do I get off the website?"
Sorry, Lupasillo, this has nothing to do with your question. Um,
It's not Lupacillo.
Sorry, Koshoro guy, I got your name wrong, and this has nothing to do with your question. Double
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry about the talks of porn and nudity and such.
Richie, what's question two before I do anything worse? Before I like break into his house on Christmas Day, piss on his kids, and set fire to the tree?
Anyway, straying away slightly from video games, but sticking with the music theme, what are some of your favorite genres of music? And
I'll be
he gives us an answer himself. He likes metal, rock and roll, and classical music.
You guys are probably going to be a little disappointed in me for this, but I pop punk, a lot of pop punk. So
well,
we're
like Smash
talking
Mouth, that kind of thing.
Jimmy Eat World, Sugar Cult, Green Day, obviously being the standard.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that stuff.
huh?
Nothing wrong with any of that, dude. I bought a Taylor Swift album.
And now you have a vagina.
There's nothing wrong with Taylor Swift.
What do you mean now I have one?
Well, you've always had a rubber one called Biscuits, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh god.
And we're back on porn. Anyway,
It's your fault this time.
it really is. I feel dirty. Oh God!
You better go and download that app then.
No,
Uh,
I'm just bloody glad that we have a soundbite of that. That's gonna come in handy later.
oh
That's my
dear,
new
you do, yeah.
text tone.
Every time you get a text from me going, I feel dirty.
I will do it, Sam. I will do it.
The thing is, you'll do that for when you visit me in January,
When I'm super
and
stoked.
then
Yeah.
you'll make your sister or Terry text you while we're all in the living room together, just to make Joe look.
uh,
Note to
you're
self:
just fueling the fire now.
This is what I used to do in younger days, by the way. I would constantly make the situation worse for myself. Also, a big thank you to those of you who messaged me regarding my statements on autism, being like, dude, you okay? Yes, I'm fine. But thank you. I appreciate the consideration. Um, where were we?
Oh yeah, we're talking about
Music.
music. You were saying that you're into pop punk kind of stuff,
Yeah,
and then you talked about my vagina. Yeah.
that's
So,
the
did you want to
yellow
expand on your
card
answer
and
anymore?
stuff. What?
Oh, I was just asking if you wanted to expand on your answer anymore.
Oh, so let's see. Yellow card, all time low. I just really can't think at the moment. Like I've been listening, I listen to it all day at work as well, and it's sort of gotten to the point where I lose track of where I am. Obviously, Sum 41. I think anyone who went to high school in the early 2000s, and now you all know how old I am,
Yeah.
knows Sum 41.
Same as Smash Mouth. I think pretty much everyone knows Smash Mouth. Even if they don't know it by name, they'll know the songs once they hear
Anyone
them.
who watched Shrek knows Smash Mouth.
Yeah, well, any movie from the early 2000s, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Weezer, which obviously on the movie topic, Loser introduced me to Weezer. Um,
Linkin Park?
well, yeah, that's pretty standard.
Limp
Limp
Bizkit?
Bizkit, not so much.
Really?
However, and this is really weird because
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
I hate rap and I hate rap metal, but I prefer the Jay-Z Linkin Park album to just Linkin Park solo. Makes no
Oh,
sense.
interesting.
Yeah, no do I. The what did they mix with Encore? They it was really popular at the time, of course, but it was Encore. I forget which one of Jay Z's songs they mixed it with. Someone help me here.
Couldn't
I
tell
don't
you.
know. I
No
never really
idea.
listened to their Jay Z stuff. I
Uh, uh,
preferred their standard Limp Bizkit
Someone
stuff.
post it in the comments later for me, would you? Cheers.
Yeah.
Richie?
Well, it varies a little bit depending on what mood I'm in, but mostly I listen to quite a lot of. My thing at the moment is electro swing, which sounds really lame, but it's actually really good. It's basically people mixing electro music with like old school swing music,
Oh,
and
have
That
you got
does
any
it
sound
examples of
really lame.
artists or like
it works
bands?
really well. I suggest you check out a guy who remixes a lot of stuff called Parov Stellar, Parov Stellar Stelar.
So essentially, if you like the music in Bioshock and Fallout, but
Yeah,
you think it could be a little more Tronny, then
it's basically
yeah,
like the music from that, but a little bit jazzed up with a little bit of a nice sort of heavy drum beat underneath. It's really good actually.
That
It's
sounds
very
amazing.
it's very good music to listen to when you're playing video games if it doesn't already have obviously background music.
is it
Yeah.
similar to the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon soundtrack at all? Then
I have no idea. I
no,
don't know what that
Okay.
is.
Oh, you
I
need to
know what
play
it is,
Blood
but
Dragon.
I don't
you need to
know what
play
it
it,
is.
Richie. It's so good.
I'll put it on the list
Mm.
That's a long
along
list.
with everything else, along with
Yeah.
every PS4 game.
Oh, speaking of, how are you getting on Arkham?
I haven't actually played it because obviously, as you said, I was away over the weekend, so I haven't had a chance to play it for the
I'm
last
gonna
few
smack
days.
you across the nose with a rolled up newspaper.
It's don't
Um,
worry, I'm still playing it as much as I can. I do really enjoy it, so I will get it finished.
okay, Terry.
To be honest, I mean, a lot of the bands you were listing off, Sam, I quite enjoy as well. Other than that, I'm off the top of
Bowling
my.
for Soup.
Uh,
They've
that's
played Norwich before. That was all right. It was fun.
yeah.
Story of the year. Now that's the most insane gig I've ever done. That was I went with my two uni housemates at the time. One came back with basically a cut lip. The other came back with bruised ribs and was in pain for about 2 constant weeks. And I'm pretty sure I got my nose broken by a crowd surfer who came over and their foot just slammed me in the face.
Yikes.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was a fun birthday.
when it comes to naming genres, I'm quite useless, but I can like name bands that I like off the top of my head and artists like Daft Punk, Ulrich Schnauz, Hybrid, Feeder, AC/DC,
Ooh, Feeder,
Queen.
good shout.
Yep, Taking Back Sunday. I saw Taking Back Sunday this
Oh,
year at Slam Dunk Live, and they were amazing. Like they were the top performers in my opinion of that.
can we
Are they
get a
are
shout
they
out
still
for
going? I can't believe they're
yeah?
Yeah,
still relevant. Jesus.
Can we
I
get a
think they
shout
released a
out
new
for
album
Coheed and
last year.
Cambria? Coheed and Cambria are awesome.
Oh yeah, I remember you used to love them. You used to play that to me quite a lot.
What do you mean used to?
Well,
Still
okay,
do.
I mean when you were around me, is what I mean.
Okay. You make it sound like I was an annoying fly.
Yeah. Oh, a couple of local bands as well. One of them, admitted bias because it's a friend's band, Kamensco, but I do really like their stuff.
Mm.
And another one, Danger Road, again another local band. They're kind of their style is kind of a throwback to sort of AC/DC's kind of stuff, really. So I really recommend them as well, Danger Road.
There's also, and I'm trying to think of their name, they're very similar to Evanescence. I was actually introduced to them by my father in law. I think they're called The Unforgiven or something like that. It's a
Oh, Within
female lead.
Temptation.
Within Temptation, thank you, Terry, because I introduced you to them after he introduced me to them. Within Temptation,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, and Nightwish as well. That's another one that's quite similar. I quite liked them a few years back. I haven't listened to them in years. I might have to do that at some point.
Within Temptation are awesome. Go listen to them if you haven't already.
Hmm.
So me and Terry are pretty much the same, and Richie's just a weirdo in the corner. With some stuff that
And
sounds like it might be cool.
I'll
yeah,
send you some of the track. Well, I'll link you to some of the tracks on YouTube, and you have a listen. It's pretty cool stuff.
I'm willing to give it a go.
It's very
me
good
too.
background music. It's not music to sit and sing to because there's not generally a lot
No.
of lyrics, but they're very
Okay.
Yes,
very good background music.
I'll probably forget to look for it, so send me a link.
I will do.
Yeah. We'll take that offline after the show then.
Yeah.
Question 3, please.
Oh Christ, hang on. Where are we? What are your some of your try again? What are some of your favorite 3D ARPGs that are more focused on arena-like gameplay and have a huge emphasis on customization?
um, does Monster Rancher count?
I'm gonna be really dumb here and say I don't know what an ARPG is.
I was.
Yeah, Monster
Yeah.
Rancher wouldn't count. It's not action. So ARPG is action role playing game.
Oh, is that not all role-playing games?
No, a lot of them are turn based. So like
Oh, okay, cool.
classic
So,
Final Fantasies are turn based.
so would Kingdom Hearts count then?
Yes, Kingdom
Although,
Hearts would count.
although
Although
didn't
I'm
he
not.
say it's based on an arena though? So
Arena
That
based,
are more
yeah.
focused on arena-like gameplay and
yeah.
have an
So
emphasis on
Skyrim doesn't
customization.
count then, does it?
No.
No. That's hard.
It's a
Would
very
Dark? I don't know if Dark Cloud or Dark Chronicle would count in that. They're more dungeon crawlers than Arena. I think Arena is the main reason I thought of Monster Rancher. I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to take a pass.
yeah. This is quite specific.
Yeah.
This is like the Mexican question. It's very specific.
Yeah, that's a bit of a tough one. I'm not really sure.
Sorry, Kasharo. At least I got your name right this time.
He didn't give any. Oh no, so something that's similar to Custom Robo, Gotcha Force, LBX, and so on. But I've heard of none of those games.
Same.
I've
That
heard
does
of them,
not
but I've
help
just
me.
not played them.
Yeah. All right. Well, question 4 then. What are some of your favorite 2D and or 3D Zelda clones? And he's then given an example. For 2D, it's going to be Alundra. As for the 3D, the only one that comes close, like I've mentioned previously, Dark Cloud.
Okay, so I've already talked about Dark Cloud. He's beaten me to Alundra. The only thing I could really add would be, what was it called? It was on the Mega Drive. Not Soleil, although Soleil is one, I believe.
Yeah,
It
that
was,
was one of my ones.
alright, sorry. It was on the Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. The guy who played as looked a bit like an Aladdin wannabe.
Story of Thor?
Story of Thor, thank you. That.
Yeah, or Beyond Oasis, depending on your region.
Thank you. Yes. So, Story of Four slash Beyond Oasis. I'm going to go with that because I actually have quite a limited pool of them to choose from.
I know what I'm going to go with. So, like I said, Soleil. Also, in terms of 3D, I'm going to say Okami, but with an asterisk. Asterisk, yeah, just because I'm not. I've been playing some of it, and I've kind of gotten into it a bit, and
Mm.
I'm not sure how much of a Zelda clone it is. I'm mainly going on reputation here, but so far it's interesting me. In terms of 2D, and you're going to kick yourself for not mentioning these,
Dragon
Sam.
Ball Z
Legacy
Legacy
of
of Goku
Goku
2.
and Fuse Fury.
I got it at the same time as you because I just went in there with Legacy of Goku 2.
Yeah.
Buse Fury is also good, but not as good. Um, Although on the 3D side, Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah.
It's a Nintendo clone from Zelda.
It's also one of my
From
favorites.
Nintendo. It's a Nintendo clone from Zelda. It's a Zelda clone from Nintendo. Pity.
Actually, it's made by Rare. Rare made it. It
Okay,
was the
fine.
last Rare game before they went to Microsoft.
Completely discount my entire sentence other than the Star Fox Adventures bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was alright. It was okay. Right. Number
Richie?
5, I believe that's. Oh yeah, Richie,
I
sorry.
I don't really have an answer to this question to be honest with you, so we'll move on.
Alright.
Question 5: what are some of your favorite boss battle tracks? And he mentions some of his two favorites to include Kirby's Return to Dreamland boss theme, Dran's BBT theme from Dark Cloud, the mini BBT from Sonic and Knuckles. Anything else? Persona 4 Dark Spies mid boss battle
Oh,
theme, Mega Man
yeah.
3's boss battle theme.
He's got most of the good ones already, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
All I can think of really is the Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 boss themes, the main ones.
Terry,
Sonic 3 and Knuckles Doomsday Zone, and the standard Sonic 2 boss theme. With the Sonic 2 boss theme, mainly just because it sounds so mischievous and silly.
I have one specific boss theme from the Sonic series set as my father's ringtone, so I know when he's calling. And Terry, I don't know if you're going to join in with me on this. Do 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 do. Go on, say do do.
I couldn't get that from your rendition.
You know the Death Egg Zone boss. There's like do 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 do.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Do 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 do. That one.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. Um. So I also quite like. I know it's not technically a. Well, no. I think Street Fighter 2 is just a series of boss battles, really, isn't it? With increasing difficulty.
Yeah, I
Um.
don't know if mine counts as a boss. I suppose it does in a way because it is the final thing. But I was gonna say like the final rival theme from Pokemon games, like early Pokemon games.
Oh God,
Yes.
yes,
So like
yes,
we
that.
finally get to the champion battle at the end of like Pokemon Red and Yellow and things like that.
You. They really should have played that in the Johto League battle between Ash and Gary. That would have been brilliant.
Yeah, true. But that means doing something right in the anime, so it wasn't going to happen. Um, shots fired. But no, there was one. The Sonic Adventure 2 when you're fighting Final Hazard. And I can't remember the name of the. Live and Learn. There we
Oh
go.
yes.
Live and
Oh
Learn.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Sonic Adventure 1, Open Your Heart against Perfect Chaos.
Yeah.
How did I not remember those?
um, although, can we just say that Sonic 06, his world, Zebrahead can do one? No.
See, that was the only thing from that game I liked.
Yeah, a friend went to see Zebrahead live. They were opening for Coheed and Cambria, actually. And Zebrahead got booed off stage for bringing a boombox on stage with them.
What? The why? What? They brought a boombox on stage.
Yeah,
So
and then they got booed off stage.
did they not play anything? Did they just stand and listen to it?
Were they
But
doing
that's
that
as much as my friend
famous
told
movie
me,
scene? Were they?
okay?
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, the Smash Bros. Brawl Master Hand boss theme that's like based off the intro. I really like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
true.
good. Yeah, good.
Um, I'm trying to think. There's
Nobuo
a
Uematsu composed that.
wow.
Yeah.
Final boss in Ocarina of Time. That's another good one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good track.
It can't be because I don't remember it. That's the problem. The ones I like tend to get in my head, stay in my head, and they never leave. It's like if Terry was down on his luck and asked if he could stay on my couch for a couple of weeks. No, because you'll never leave.
Ouch.
Hey.
Not
Richie
even,
would be fine.
not even if
He's
he
got
was down on his
prospects.
luck.
What do you mean I don't have prospects? I'm about to start a master's degree.
Now, now, ladies.
I'm going to have a doctorate in a few years, so. Nah.
Yeah, because the bachelor's helped you where you were constantly told that, you were overqualified and had no experience. It's going to be the exact same problem again. Anyway.
Yeah, if you're going for university lecturing, you kind of need to have a degree, a
Okay.
PhD.
Then you'll be able to buy all the couches you need.
You'll make a fort out of couches and tell me I can't come in.
Yeah, just to spite Sam.
Yeah. There'll be a fabulous couch fort, the
Yeah.
best couch fort
Oh,
ever in the world.
also, that
Um,
logic doesn't work. Your bachelor's really helped you as like in as a deterrent to getting a PhD. Is like saying, "Oh, your GCSEs didn't help you, so why bother getting a bachelor's?"
all right, let's not go into it. Um, right,
Sorry, I just had to go on your logic.
were we on question 5 of 5 there? By the way.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
were.
that was the last question.
Wow, that was question 5 of 5. Okay, so which brings us on to what we've been playing this week, which PlayStation Plus updated, so that's been my source of new games. So that's given me. I haven't played Teslagrad yet, but that's one of them. No idea what it's about. I've played Zeo Drifter, which is sort of like a really basic Metroid, and you keep fighting the same boss over and over again, but it's still kind of fun. You can also beat it inside of about an hour, so I'm kind of glad it was free. Been playing a lot of Spelunky again. It wasn't part of PS Plus, but I've been playing it. Just trying to think. Grow Home was part of PlayStation Plus, and although that gets showered with praise, that has been as awkward to control and as utterly boring to play as all of the coverage made it look like it was.
Huh.
So yeah,
That's a
really,
shame. I thought that looked alright.
just it feels very wobbly, and you just get bored very quickly. And also the controls are a little too floaty. I don't know what it is with people putting floaty controls in lately, but you need precision in your controls, people. Um, yeah, I haven't got around to the rest of the PS Plus games, but I probably will at some point this week.
Huh.
Yeah. Terry?
I've been catching up on Life is Strange, and now I really wish I hadn't because I've got to wait for episode 5 on a really frustrating point. Spoiler
No
free.
spoilers.
Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Spoiler
no
free.
spoilers. I plan on playing them.
Dude,
same.
yeah, no, I would not be. I would not. I am a bit of a dick at times, but that would be a whole new level. You do not spoil Life is Strange ever under any circumstances. That game has been
It's
a
like when
field
people
trip.
used to walk around Comic Con in a Light Yagami cosplay with a giant sign saying L dies.
Oh, fucking pricks.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
from going back like a good 5 years or so now, but yeah.
yeah, no, that's just not cool. But
No.
no, all I'll say is it's been an absolute field trip. It's been intense. It's been my favorite Butterfly Effect game thus far. And oh my god, I just can't wait for episode 5. That's
Will
it.
you be replaying it and exploring other options?
Probably, but I think I'd need some time to recover from like the impact of that story.
Jesus. So
Yeah,
has it given you any interest in Until Dawn, which is survival horror multiple choice branching path game?
it has, but not enough to get me to buy a PS4.
Fair
I know
enough.
it's an exclusive. If it was on PC, I'd definitely be interested in getting into that. But because of the interest it's kind of reignited in me, it's made me want to go back to the Walking Dead game at some point soon as well, as that's been on my backlog for ages. And I played through the
Season
back to
2 is on mine. I need to get around to Season 2.
exactly, and I've played the Telltale Games Back to the Future game before, and I freaking loved that. That was really good.
Oh,
So
that's really
I
well
think I
done,
may have
yeah.
found one of my favorite genres.
Okay, awesome. Richie? GTA 5,
Um,
obviously.
yeah, I was playing some of that last night actually with my brother. Didn't get any
Yep.
footage out of it unfortunately, but it was still good fun. Over the weekend, I was away on holiday with my family, and we played quite a lot of the Jackbox Party Pack, which is like the party games that you all play on your smartphones.
I have no idea what they are.
Right, basically, the Jackbox Party Pack is like a collection of 4 or 5 different sort of little mini games. They're like board games in electronic form that you play with your smartphone. So an
Nice.
example of one of them is called Drawful. Have you seen
And
anything
on
about
that
that?
note, if you want to learn how to make a board game using simple variables in pretty much any game engine, check out Variables Game Design and Theory. It's episode 2 of season 2. It's over on my solo channel right now. Back to you, Richie.
That was almost like that was planned, wasn't it? That was good.
Yeah.
Um, it's basically there's a game called Drawful. You might have seen that on YouTube. Quite a lot of people have made videos of it.
Is it
It's
Pictionary?
essentially yes.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a something to draw on their smart device. You obviously can't see what other people are drawing. Everyone gets a unique thing, and they're all really silly and things like that. Everyone draws something, and it takes in turns to show everyone each other's drawings, and everyone
Hmm.
has to try and guess what they are. And then all the answers come up, and you have to pick which one is the right one. Other people, you get points if other people guess your lie, sort of thing. So it's good fun. And there's another game as well called Quiplash, which is made by the same people, which is where you get a ridiculous scenario where you have to fill in the blank. So
Hmm.
one of them was like rejected colors for crayons and things like that. And I won't tell you what I said because it will definitely push us over the rating.
I know
But then
you.
basically,
I know what
two
you've done.
two people get the same question, and the two answers go up on the screen afterwards, and then people vote for which one they think is funnier or better or whatever. So I've been playing a lot of party games like that. They're
Do
all
they ever have to vote on when the two answers go up whose they think is whose?
No, it tells you that after you've
Ah.
guessed. After you've guessed, it doesn't tell you at the time. After everyone's guessed, it tells you who they are. But that would be a
Ooh,
good feature. That would be good.
ooh.
That'd be a good
So
game in general. Like two people have answered this question. Can you figure out who answered it which way?
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of some other games I've been playing. You carry on, Richie, before I go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you had your turn.
Well, to be honest, that's pretty much wraps it up. But the creators of the Jackbox Party have said in the last week or so that Jackbox Party 2 is going to be coming out this year, so I'm excited for that.
You're
Nice.
following mobile phone developers now.
It's a PC game. It's on Steam. It's a PC game. Is you just play it with your smartphone.
Oh, okay.
You play it connected. You connect to a web browser, so it comes up with a room code on the game, and says everyone connect to this room. You go into your internet browser on your phone and connect to it that way.
So you need a laptop or something in the room
You
as
need
well.
some form of. Oh yeah, you need a PC or a laptop or something. Because I took my laptop with me, but yeah, you
Ah,
need that and some form of smart device to play.
Oh, that's
alright.
pretty clever.
It is very clever. It's very fun as well. If you've got a good group of people, it's very fun.
I might have to try that. Some.
Asymmetrical multiplayer done right, Nintendo, take note.
Well, we'll play it in January.
Yeah,
Hmm.
sounds good.
Sounds
It'll
good.
be a good laugh. That will.
Yeah, that
And
could
we'll
be a good
record
video as
it.
well.
Yeah, and I won't have to be quite so conservative because my dad's there with me.
Yeah.
I can let loose.
So, Terry, what were your additionals?
Right, so one of them, Richie reminded me of this because party games, and in the British Gaming Blog, we never specified that we are specifically video games. Now, this is one that's kind of a sort of role-playing game, as my friend described it without the sex. Basically, it's called
D and
Dread. Have
D.
you guys? Yeah, it's kind of like that, but not. So this one's called Dread. Instead of using dice, you have pools on Jenga blocks. Someone just kind of makes up a story, like in whatever setting they want. So typically horror, really, and you just kind of make up your characters and go along with that. It's very kind of sort of make up as you go along, essentially. But it's real good fun. It's the first time I've
D
ever
and
done.
D.
Yeah,
It's D and
yeah.
D with Jenga.
Pretty much, yeah. And the other thing I've been playing, well, things, is I've been going back to some of the games that I wasn't able to finish in the races and old Let's Plays, and I'm seeing if I can get through those and basically make a little montage to prove that, hey, I can do it.
Yeah, I thought that was quite a good idea. I might steal that off you and do a similar thing.
Go
Same. I
for
It's a
it.
might do a
really good
Sonic
idea.
One
A
one
really
to
good
redeem
video
myself.
idea.
Yeah. Um. All right then. Well, that wraps up what we've been playing, and actually wraps up the podcast as a whole. Which, for once, guys, we did it. We're within the time limit we set out.
In
We
fact, we're
finally
early.
internet high fives around everybody right now.
Oh, hey.
Hey. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us this week. Next week we'll be here talking about whatever happens in the news between now and then. Because some of these have some time sensitive stories in, I'm going to see if I can get this edited and uploaded a little bit faster. I appreciate I said that last week because we recorded a day early, but my really terrible rural broadband cut out on the upload halfway through while I was at work, so then I had to re upload when I got home on Thursday. So it just about still went up on a Thursday. It was like 10 in the evening, cut it really damn close. And if you don't want that to be an issue, and you also want me to start live streaming, please send an email to roddy.thompson at openreach.co.uk letting him know that Roud, Wiltshire needs fibre optic broadband ASAP.
Just to
Um,
reiterate what we said last time, we mentioned that politely and respectfully, no abuse. We do not encourage abuse of any nature on this podcast.
Thank you, Terry. What he said. Outside of that, good night, everybody.